but I'm going to let him be who he wants to be.
Right.
Some people go, well, your parents were real strict on you about things, and, were very, they sheltered you a lot, and they kind of wanted to keep you at bay, and all this. And look at, do you feel like you would have turned out the way that you are now if your parents hadn't been that way? And I'm like, I don't know. But I just can't do that for my son. I have to, and I love my parents, and my parents were just, they just did the best they could for me. But I'm not going to be able to be like that because it's just not in my makeup. I got to let him be who he wants to be, man. Support him in whatever he wants to do. If he wants to be a ballerina, that's fine. We'll just make sure he gets some boxing lessons. So, things like that. If he wants to be, he can be a plumber, he can be a doctor, he can be a lawyer, he can be a fireman, and he can just be if he wants.
I love that song by Johnny Cash, Boy Named Sue.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of that thing. It's like, the whole story of his life, the kid was pissed. Finally, wanted to kill his dad once he found him, and he's like, if I hadn't, the world's a rough world out there, and I knew I wasn't going to be around. It's just a great song. You know the song, I'm sure. So, what a shame. Right on. Yeah, this to me, I don't know, maybe you're not in the same vein, but is it about a lost friend?
It's about my Uncle Johnny. It's about my mom's brother.
Oh, wow.
Who died of cancer when I was making this record. My uncle was one of those guys that he lived pretty hard, and he was always kind of the, not outcast, because my granny, his mother, loved him so much. And unfortunately, man, he got cancer while we were recording the record. He passed away, and my mom called me and told me, and I couldn't get home to the funeral because I was so in the middle of the record, and I was trying to figure out a way to get home, and my mom said he would have wanted you to stay and get it done and give it everything you have, and he would want you, because I knew my Uncle Johnny, and he would have, but I didn't know what to do, and I felt bad that I wasn't there for the funeral, so I wrote a song about him. So, because I looked at it like, if I can't be there for this, at least I can immortalize him in a song. And
he was a 2 packs of cigarettes a day guy?
Yeah.
Wow, man.
Strongest whiskey Kentucky can make.
So is his voice like this?
Yeah, kind of.
Almost had to be, didn't it?
Yeah, he was...
You start sucking those down and sucking whiskey down like that, after a while, it's got to mess with your voice.
He was, man, but he was a good man. Because the thing is if you listen to What a Shame, a lot of the truth, like literally word for word, that was Johnny. But especially when you get to the bridge, if you read all the, if you listen to all the words in the bridge, that was the biggest part of the song. That was the moment in the song that I wanted the listener to realize that this person, even though they might be gone from here, they're not gone. They're going to live forever, because, the lyrics in that bridge are, God forgive the hands that lay you down. They never knew how much a broken heart can break the sound and change the season. Now the leaves are falling faster, happily ever after. You gave me hope through your endeavors, and now you will live forever. And I just, he was a great person.
And I love the line in there because feels like this for me, or for my uncle that I'm thinking about right now. A world that won't let him be.
Yeah.
Because I know my other uncle and my mom, and they would always sort of go, oh yeah, Uncle Jack.
Right.
That's what they'd always, it's almost like a blow off, but you know what? I don't know that he even paid that much attention to me, but when he did, he didn't care who I was.
Right.
And I just sensed that. I mean, I was never really close to it, or anything, but yeah, there's just people like that who, they have like you said, maybe not an outcast, but they have a tough time feeling like they fit in.
To a point, yeah.
And is that you kind of maybe describe that a little bit when you were, because you said I was different than everybody in Knoxville.
I was.
Did you not feel like an outcast, but you still felt like you didn't
fit in? I
fit
felt alienated a lot of times.
Really?
I just felt like
talking about his school a lot and
definitely
the
in school,
community.
especially like when I got to high school is when I switched. Like, I had really, really bad acne when I was a kid, like severely bad acne, and I was also a really heavy kid. So I got a 1-2 punch about my 6th grade year. I was the heaviest I'd ever been, and because I'd get depressed and I'd eat, you know, I just
fun to do. Oh man, it's the best thing.
And then the acne started, and when I say like severe, it was bad. I was one of the first 200 people in the United States to take Accutane.
Really?
Yeah, because I went to a great doctor. His name is Tovio Rist. I think he still has a practice in Knoxville. And he told my mother, he was like, if you want to save his social life, this is the last resort to work for something to work for him. Because we had tried everything else.
And you were pretty self-conscious of it, obviously.
Yeah, man, because I would get made. Oh man, talk about. I mean, kids are cruel, man. But they would get to the point of like, they would make fun of me in a way of like, we wish you weren't alive. Like, you disgust us so bad, and we hate you so much hate, man. Really, I've never seen anything like it in all my life. And
Wow.
we go to, recess, man, and just get the crap beat out of me, man. Just beat up. So anyhow, I couldn't take the medicine until I was right at, like, I had to be like 14, at least 14. So what happened was, my 8th grade summer is when I started taking it. And then I was about 5 foot, I'm trying to remember back to this. I was about 5'3", maybe, something like that, like 5'3".
So pretty short even for that age.
Yeah, and weighed about 210 pounds.
Have at it.
Lost 70 pounds in 2.5 months off the Accutane, because one of the biggest side effects was there was like 100 side effects. Like, I had to get my blood checked every week to check my liver and all this other stuff. But one of the side effects was a loss of appetite. I didn't even want to see food.
Really?
I was so like, I didn't even want to acknowledge. If I smelled food, I'd get sick.
Wow.
It didn't even matter if it smelled good. It was just like repellent. But anyhow, I lost like 70 pounds. And 5 months into it, the acne, I remember it was the craziest thing in the world. And like, you'd flake and stuff like that. It was so bad. It was just like, like snowing off my face. And, one day I woke up and I washed my face, and I remember pulling a towel down over my face, and it was just gone.
Wow.
And it got worse before it got better. Like, it would all come to the head, so it was really bad at one point. But that really happened like during the summer when I didn't really have to be around anyone.
Right.
I didn't pretty much leave my house. So my 9th grade year, I went to another school, a school that I wasn't supposed to go to. So no one knew who I was. And that was interesting because I kind of met a new style of people, and I was kind of looked at differently because, I looked different. But I got expelled from that school because I got in a lot of trouble.
Right.
I was very rambunctious.
Were you beating kids up that had acne?
No, I was. I started to come into my.
To your Brent Smith.
Well, I started coming into the artist in me.
Oh, okay.
And I just skipped school a bunch and skipped classes and just was rambunctious. No, I don't have a mean bone in my body.
Yeah.
And anyhow, I got expelled, so I had to go back my sophomore year to the school I was zoned for, with all those kids from the time I was in elementary school on up. And I showed up, and they didn't know who I was. So it was really wild. And by this time, I'd had another summer, so I started working out, started running. I was 5'8".
Yeah, right.
I grew to 5'8", and I weighed 135 pounds.
Wow.
And, and they were like, all of a sudden, girls were looking at me. All of a sudden, like, guys were like, and then when they found out who I was, they were in this ultimate shock. And for me, I looked at it like, they wanted me to come and sit with them at the lunch table now, and they wanted to hang out with me and stuff like that. And what I did was I basically turned my back on them because I was like, I don't have any desire to be even in the same room with you. And I would sit by myself at lunch all the time. And I was comfortable, though, because I was like, I don't really care.
Right.
I'm just going to be who I want to be. I remember, coming to school, my clothes started to change. Started wearing really baggy jeans and started wearing shirts that said, like, I'd make homemade shirts that take a white t-shirt and take a black magic marker and write punk on it. come in with Kool-Aid purple hair, freaking with a wallet chain hanging down to my knees. You know, I was just like, I just changed everything.
Wow.
You know, changed the way I looked, changed the way I thought, just grew my hair long, and I just started becoming just more independent. Not a loner, just more independent. Just I didn't have to be around people. And it's funny because I ended up like my junior year. My junior year of high school, the most popular girl in school fell in love with me, and that was.
You are the man.
Well, no, it wasn't that. It was I fell.
So it feels good.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I fell in love with her too.
Yeah.
I mean, I did. You know, but we had this summer thing, you know, and then we went back to school senior year, and you know, it's like, oh, this is gonna be bad. You know, I knew it. I was like, this is gonna be, because like the relationship formed over the summer,
Right.
you know, and we weren't around anyone, and it was
Grease.
yeah, and we went back to school, and it was funny, man. I tried so hard to like tell her like, this is not gonna be good for you. And, you know, we try to end it. You know, I tried to end it. She was like, there's no way I'm going to, you know, I love you, Romeo, Juliet type thing. And I was like, okay. And first day of school, walked in, and she's in her circle, and I'm walking in, you know, into the mezzanine, and I just try to cut the corner and so she doesn't see me, and I hear her yell my name. I turn around, and I'm like, oh, great. And I walk up. And, I mean, you should have seen their faces, man. They could not believe it.
All right.
And I'm going to tell you what sucks about that is that none of those people were her friends. You know why? Because every one of them turned their back on her. And it was, but